in October that I received a letter from Eitan. I never heard of it before. I never heard of his company, and I get a lot of letters. But I read this letter, which was a page and a quarter, or a page and a half, and he described his company. He talked about why it might fit with Berkshire Hathaway. In fact, he said that Berkshire Hathaway was the only company in the world that they would care to join with, and if it wouldn't work with us, they would just go on independently. This letter, I get a lot of letters, and this letter was something special. I could tell that. I could tell it was written by a special man about a special company. So he had invited me in this letter, if I had a further interest, to contact him, and he would be glad to come over with his associates and explain more about this business to me. Now, I don't know anything about tools, so I wasn't going to learn the specifics of a business in order to make a decision about purchasing the company, but rather I was going to make a decision about the people. And he came over, Jacob, Danny Goldman, and we sat and talked, and it reaffirmed the conclusion that I tentatively reached from reading his letter, namely that this was a very special company run by a very special management, and that if there were a way to do it, Berkshire Hathaway would like to acquire the company. Now, at that time, Eitan said, you have to come over and look at this. I mean, in the end, this is a matter of record. We spent $4 billion buying 80% of the company. So he said, if you're going to spend something like $4 billion, the least you can do is come over to Israel and look at the company. And I said, I won't know anything after I get over there. I won't be able to find the men's room in the plant. So I will make a decision based on how I evaluate the business from its numbers, but also, much more importantly, how I evaluate its future from the people who will be running it in the future. Well, that was a lucky day for me. And Eitan subsequently said, well, if you buy the company, will you come over? And I said, okay, if I buy the company, I'll come over. And after we bought the company, I did go over, and I went to their operations in Israel, and I saw the most impressive manufacturing operation I'd ever seen in my life. And Eitan said, well, he said, I told you it would be like this. Why didn't you come over before? I said, well, if I'd seen it, and what a wonderful operation you had, I would have paid more money, so I'm glad I didn't. I guess that's what he meant about that wallet part of the introduction. In any event, it's been a terrific association for Berkshire. Everything they said was there and much more. It was the chance to associate, Berkshire to associate itself with really one of the great manufacturing enterprises with loads of growth ahead of it, with an incredible management team that works like no group I've ever seen. And I don't travel very much, but when Eitan asked me to join with the management group to come and visit Agatec in India, I had to say yes, and I'm glad I said yes. This is my first trip to India. The first step I took in India was in Bangalore, and unfortunately I described myself to the media here a while back as being a little retarded in coming here. I think I'm looking for another word to describe my behavior. That's gotten picked up in the press. But wasn't the smartest thing I ever said. But it is a real pleasure to be here. Every minute since I've been here, I've been meeting interesting people. I've seen our wonderful plant, which is just getting started. It's only been 10 years. And in the next 10 years, you're going to see miracles in terms of the development of that operation. And the reason you'll see some of those miracles is that we're operating in India, which is opening up in terms of opportunity by the day. And fortunately, Tag fits right into the structure of an industrial base that's just gathering momentum by the day and the week and the year. So we are riding a tidal wave in India, and right now we have 30% of the market. I set a tentative goal for getting to 105% in a few years, and I look forward to coming back before that even. We've got a great time here, learning more about your country. I'm meeting some wonderful people, and I thank you for coming today.